I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Mike and Dees. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing fantastic. I think it's your night and my evening. I'm 5:30. You're probably 8:30, right?
Yeah, I was. And it's going to go back again, right? That's the one thing. Like the first Sunday in November, right? Yeah. Well, it's cool. Yeah. Well, good evening, Mike. Tell me what parts of the world, or tell us what parts of the world are you in right now?
Yep. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest in the United States, and so I live in Washington in a little town called Blaine, right up against the border of Canada, right up against Vancouver, Canada. So that's where I'm at right now.
All right. So it's not only evening, but it's also cold.
Yes, it is very cool. We're heading into our fall season and very wet season as well.
Yeah, well, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Mike, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting.
I'd say it's probably because of podcasting, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily a talent. Probably something that I've just done for a while, and that's probably how you found out about me, Angel. But something I've done for about 3 years, and so I'd say probably podcasting is the reason we're talking.
Yeah. Well, hey, I listen to the podcast, and you do give information. You do bring value. Let's deal with that then. What about the value? Like, who did you learn that skill from? Like giving value and giving more than is required, if you would.
Yeah, like so I don't have necessarily a mentor that I talk to personally, but I think the beauty of technology and social media and YouTube and things like that, it allows young entrepreneurs, people that are aspiring to be great at any field, it allows them to contact people that they otherwise wouldn't have 20 years ago. And so for me, I look up to people, I listen to other podcasters and things like that. Right now, a few that are highlights for me, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, those are sort of the ones that I'm following right now. I usually jump to one to another after a year or two, but that's where I kind of learn a lot of my business skills, sales, things like that.
All right. So you've been doing that. I'm guessing there are the challenges. Like on the podcast, the episode I listened to, you're just spelling out some simple steps in terms of approaching customers, ways to treat your clientele. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, like right now, I'm on a big kick right now about customer service. And so I don't know if this is going to become a bigger thing because I've had so much response to the past few episodes. But really about talking about customer service, and the podcast is all parts of business, whether it be marketing, your people skills, the general website development, things like that. We talk about all of it. We have people come on the show that are looking to start, grow, or save their business. They come on the show. I interview them. We talk with them through the different issues that they're going through on how to scale up their business and really make it become a really profitable organization. And so in doing that, doing that time after time after time, you begin to see a lot of the pattern recognition of what a small business owner goes through. So we aren't talking about massive companies, a lot of smaller companies that are under $1 million in revenue that call in, and we're able to help them. And so it's just a wide variety of different industries and people. It's great.
Yeah. Great information. So where's the best place for someone to connect with you? Now, let's just talk quickly about the small businesses you're talking about. We're talking about like people that are cutting grass, right? Contractors. Is that accurate?
Yeah, a lot of service-based businesses. Like I also have another podcast called Landscape Business Course, landscapebusinesscourse.com, where I actually teach people how to run a landscaping company, because that's what I've done since I was 12 years old. And so now we've really scaled it up in the past few years, and we're looking to franchise the company. And so I created a course on how someone can start at zero and go to $100,000 in revenue within 3 years, and that's exactly what we did. And so I created that, and that's another part of the I have a podcast for that and things like that. But yeah, a lot of the listeners are service-based businesses, people that have 1 to 10 to 12 employees, and it's a lot of fun. A wide variety of different industries.
Yeah, where's the best place for like point the audience in the two different directions?
Yeah, so a Business Bootcamp podcast is probably the larger podcast I'm kind of known for. I've done that one for several years now, and we have sponsors, and a lot of people go to businessbootcamppodcast.com, and that's where you can submit a question on how to start, grow, or save your business. I answer all of those questions, and sometimes we'll get a business owner to come on the show, and we'll do a live call. And that way you learn from other business owners, industries, and see what they're going through. And then also Landscape Business Course, landscapebusinesscourse.com. The pod really just for lawn care professionals, people wanting to get started in landscaping and really wanting to see how I took my business from 0 to 100,000 in revenue, on a monthly basis, and in 3 years. So that's kind of the two podcasts and ways people can reach out.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, well, do tell me one other thing that you've done consistently, if it's even possible, right, to do one other thing consistently over the last 3 years.
Yeah, so I think the big thing that I'm interested in doing is, and we'll get into I think a little bit later in questions, is why am I doing this all, and the purpose behind the podcast. And I probably spend 20 to 30 hours a week answering people's questions that aren't paying me for anything, and I'm just trying to add value. And I don't really advertise the podcast, but I'm trying to add value to as many people as I can, to small businesses, trying to empower them, trying to glean the experiences that I've had from going to business school, having a business of my own, and seeing all these companies and be able to give that to other people. And so the thing I've done consistently is give value without any expectation of anything in return.
How does that make you feel?
Well, it makes me feel awesome, obviously, and that's why I keep doing it. I spend probably 60 to 70 hours a week at Augusta Lawn Care, which is my landscaping company. We have a couple locations, and we're looking to franchise in the next coming year. However, that 20, 30 hours that's spent at night many times answering those questions, the fuel is really the comments, the emails that I get back the year afterwards that was changed, it was turned around, they went from unprofitable to be able to support their family. Those are the emails that keep me, they're my oxygen, and they keep me going and spending that time at night.
So why will you continue to repeat this skill, Mike?
Yeah, I think it's valuable for anyone, whether it be a young person like myself. I'm 22 years old. I think whether it be a young person that can be inspired by what I'm doing, whether it be someone that wants to start a business and become an entrepreneur, it's the life I love. It's the only life I could live. I can never be an employee. And so if there's someone that looks up to me, whether it be a younger person, someone coming out of high school that can follow the content that I create, that it's worth it 100%.
Love it. Well, amazing audience. We are live with Mike Andis. Hey, do check him out. Again, he is the podcast host by two, right? So he's the podcast host of We Have First. Oh, it slipped me, right? It slipped me 1 second.
Business Bootcamp podcast.
I get it. Okay, so it's the Business Bootcamp podcast and the lawn care. Oh, tell me the lawn care.
Landscape Business Course. And there's a podcast for that, and then just landscapebusinesscourse.com.
Oh, there we go. Hey, well, Mike, let's switch gears for a moment now. Let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Mike, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, it's funny you say Caribbean water, because my earliest childhood memory was actually drowning in water.
Ouch.
It was when we lived in Arizona, and I drowned in our backyard pool, and I had to go to the hospital.
Wow. How old do you think you were?
I was probably about 2.5, I think, maybe even a little bit younger, but right around there.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
I remember it was probably one of the first times I ever went to a hospital. I remember the paramedics in the ambulance, and I remember them putting those sticky things under my chest for getting my heart rate. And I remember coming to after I had blanked out on the bottom of the pool. I remember the very first thing I remember is looking up and seeing my mom, because I had fell off of the little floaty pool thing that we had there. And so I remember that, and yeah.
Wow. So, wow. Was it like a traumatizing type of thing? Were you feeling as though? Could you expand, please?
Yeah. No, I went out, like I blanked out and went unconscious, and so I've had a couple of those things happen in my life. Just over a year ago, last August 4th, 2016. I almost got killed as well. I was underneath one of our dump trucks, and it caught my hoodie that I was wearing. It caught in the PTO, which is the thing that spins really fast underneath the dump truck.
Yeah.
And I almost got killed there. I had to get rushed to the hospital then as well. And it was crazy. What's crazy about Angel is that same day, August 4th, 2016, was the exact same day that my book was published.
Wow.
Millennial Millionaire. And so it's kind of a cool date. I'll never remember that. I'll never forget that. But definitely that was my first experience as a kid, was looking up and knowing, like, from the bottom of the pool and seeing my mom and being at the bottom of that pool.
Wow, intriguing. Hey, well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought? Hey, well, first, why do you think the memory is so clear?
Yeah, like I don't know. I think there's those defining moments in your life where you have a close encounter with death, and from that time you kind of think about things a lot differently. Obviously, I was a really young kid at that time, 2, 3 years old, and so I didn't have self. Be able to inspect myself to that level. However, most recently, that year ago, times like that really will stand out to an individual, and I think there are inflection points in our life where we can really make big changes when we come encounter with death that closely.
Yeah, by two, right? By two
Yeah.
times, right? All right, so can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes, absolutely.
I love the idea of the image. Well, I don't love the idea really. It's a bit sad, but I just like the fact that you looked up in the midst of the end to those that. Well, I'm not sure if you looked to your mother or if you looked to hope, right?
Right.
And that is pretty amazing to me, given the fact that you live a life now that it seems as though you are constantly bringing value to others at your own pain, if you would, because you're willing to give more of your life force, if you would, understanding that for some reason you believe there's more value there. You spoke of it, right? You're giving like 30 hours, which is the night. I mean, you're 22, so you do have some energy, right? But
yeah. I think you're right. I think you're spot on, Angel. And like the reason you have your podcast and you inspire other people, it's very similar to a parent and child relationship in that a child depends on their parent for so much things, whether it be when you're 2, 3 years old, it's for walking, it's for eating, it's for going to sleep, it's for changing. There's so many aspects of their life that they depend on that person for, and so to become in the role for another individual, for instance, like business, for many people they feel like they're drowning, they feel like they are down, they feel like they can't get in the air, working 80, 100 hours a week, not being able to pay the bills, and so to be that parent, quote unquote, figure for them on a business level is gives you a lot of reason to live. And no doubt you've had this, emails, people telling you that you've given them inspiration or you've given them tips or advice that you are the hand that reaches down and picks them up out of that place.
We go.
And I think that's inspiring.
There we go. Hey, I got chills. It was the next thing I was about to say. Like, we could reframe the image, and it's definitely that hand of your parent, if you would, stretching. I guess it's not even a reframe. It's definitely what occurred, right? And that is beautiful. All right. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
I have no idea. Like, I'm not a huge music person. At 12 years old, I was playing the piano, and then I played trumpet. I played the drums.
What was your favorite song on the piano?
You know what? I think the first one I ever learned was When the Saints Go Marching In.
Okay.
And so that was probably the one I played.
Yeah. Well, hey, it definitely connects, right? Like, you almost went marching in, right? All right, Mike. Well, hey, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. Are you ready, Mike?
Yes, absolutely.
Mike, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No, I have not.
Are you married?
No.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
Absolutely, 100% I do. Yeah, and a lot of what I do is centered around that.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Not really, to be honest.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No, I do not.
How about 3 hours a week?
Nope, not at all.
What about screen time, the phone under the computer? Is it more?
A lot. I think it was funny. I was speaking the other day, and I asked, it was a lot of millennials, and I asked how many people are within 5 feet of their cell phone 24 hours of every single day, and it was amazing how many people put their hand up, and I had to be one of those.
Yeah. That's a great question. I like that question. All right. Hey, Mike, after 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. My idea is, as you answer the questions in the book, you uncover your mission, your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us, Mike, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Mike Andes, what would you say that is?
Yeah, I think my statement, or the thing that, if someone was asked me why do I exist, or why do I wake up every morning, it'd have to be my phrase that I keep in my mind is that my goal or my why is to inspire others by the words I say and the work I do so that they achieve their own personal success and spiritual potential.
Love it. Hey, Mike Andes, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
No, not really. I just want to, especially the millennials out there, the people that are coming out of high school, coming out of college, they feel like there's a lot of roads to take right now. I obviously would love to hear from you. businessbootcamppodcast.com. The book was written especially just for you, coming out of high school, coming out of college. Millennial Millionaire, the Young Entrepreneur's Guide to Breaking Out of the Middle Class. You can get a free copy of it on the website, so you can check that out. And I'd love to hear from you, especially if you want to become a landscaper and start on the journey that I've started, when I was 12 years old, and now 10 years later, I'm able to teach others how to do the same thing. So yeah, definitely want to hear from you.
Hey, connect to Mike Andes. Hey, Mike Andes, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
My pleasure, man.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.